Welcome back to Championship Court, everybody. We have reached the quarterfinal stage for the challenger level. Coming up next, it's the Arizona Drive taking on the Bay Area Breakers. Thrilled to have you with us this early evening rather. Michelle McMahon, Cameron Irwin, and Adam Stone in the booth. Dominic Catalano joins us sideline. Here is a picture of the bracket. It was an absolute grind for all of these teams to get to this point. Orlando Squeeze clinched the #1 bye, going a perfect 3-0 on the day. DC Pickleball team. Two teams that traded actually in their first round picks both made it all the way through to the semis. Riley Newman's team is DC, Anna Bright's team is the Orlando Squeeze, and then we have 4 and 5 squaring off now. The Arizona Drive taking on the Bay Area Breakers, and the Chicago Slice, who has Ben Johns taking on the Miami Pickleball Club with Tyson McGuffin. Let's talk about the matchup. Guys, Arizona and Bay Area. The Breakers have a 54% win probability, and one player that both of you are awfully familiar with is Vivian Glossman. Let's talk about Arizona Drive first. Vivian Glossman, Cameron, starting with you. A new player here on the premier level. What does she bring to the table?
Well, I think that's one of the biggest questions is Vivian Glossman. When you look at the 4 women currently on court, you have Vivian David, Etta Wright, Leah Jansen, and Vivian. 3 of those 4 you could traditionally see on Sundays on the PPA Tour in terms of finals being won. However, Vivian Glossman, a little bit more of an unknown quantity in terms of playing at the highest level. So she is going to no doubt be tested in this women's doubles matchup.
And when it comes to men's doubles, Bar, a man Adam Stone's very familiar with, your former partner.
Yeah.
What should we know about him on the side of the Arizona Drive?
My main man, Bar. Absolutely. And it's really Deckel and Julian. I really lump them into the same category as players who can take over a match, but also have some inconsistencies in their game. We will have Bar on the right and Julian Arnold on the left. Can these high-powered fellas keep their errors in check and let their offense do the talking for them?
That's the scoop on the Arizona Drive. Now let's turn our attention to Bay Area. Leah Jansen warming up with Etta Wright. Etta Wright, such a dominant female player. You love watching her and what she can create. What's the biggest thing to look out for in her game?
The fact that she's got the one-hand, backhand speed up. That flick is dangerous. And I actually caught up with Leah Jansen about these two playing alongside one another. Both of them love to play the left side. Leah will be on the right to start. However, that's one of the nice pieces of versatility for this duo, is if they feel like there's a pattern that's not working in their favor, or maybe one of them is just slightly off, they're free to switch sides and are going to feel comfortable on both sides.
So you talked about the big body of Bar, your former partner. So Connor Garnett, Rafa Hewitt have the task of matching up against him in men's doubles. What should their approach be? Or
all right, ladies and gentlemen, I have the 2 team captains of the teams that will be playing. To my left is Miss Leah Jansen, team captain for Bay Area Breakers. To my right is Mr. Julian Arnold, team captain for Arizona Drive. Miss Jansen,
check this real
call
fast.
it.
I'll
This
give
is
you my
tails,
thoughts right after
heads.
this break.
What's your call?
Tails.
She has called tails. It's heads.
We'll react to mix.
AZ Drive has won the toss and chosen to react. Bay Area Breakers are going to receive.
We'll go men first.
Men will be playing the first match.
Ooh.
What side? We're going to start on this side.
And the Bay Area Breakers have chosen my right.
Okay, perfect place for you to pick back up, Adam, on your thoughts.
Yeah, after my phenomenal start, that was really great. So, but yes,
I put you in a corner there.
That's
Didn't
right.
give you much time to wrap your thoughts.
It's exactly, and the word of the day is volatility. So it can be so sky high, the ceiling can be so sky high for all 4 males, and the floor can be low. We have to find a baseline of consistency in who is going to do that. The offense will be there when they need it. Who can find that consistent baseline? That is going to be the team that takes this first match, and the fellas are out first.
They are indeed. Julian Arnold was the first round selection for the Arizona Drive. He was picked at that 7th slot,
2 minutes.
coming off of his super final finale at the season championships this year, which feels like over a year ago, but it was not that long ago in San Clemente, California. Rafa Hewitt and Connor Garnett looking to turn the tables here.
Yeah, and Julian Arnold was the best player on court in that super final, and he was playing Ben Johns.
Yes, that was, of course, Ben Johns was in action that Sunday earlier in the finals, then had to turn around and play a super final the next day. A couple of players were talking about that, but you're absolutely right. Julian Arnold was electrifying, and then he gets to play with DUPR. DUPR dropping to the 3rd round. Is that surprising to you, Adam, given your GM background?
Well, I think there was a couple veteran players that ended up dropping a bit too far, and I think Deckel falls into that class. Now, there is definitely a shiny new toy type of situation in the draft. These young up-and-coming players are so talented, and possibly these veterans could have dropped a couple spots, but I think, as I said, many dropped too far, and DUPR was one of those. I'm expecting him to out-earn his draft slot.
Jay DeVilliers also could be added to that list as he dropped down pretty significantly, but somebody that has been a force for years, whether it's on the PPA Tour or Major League Pickleball. He's so skilled in so many different ways, so I'd be curious to see, too, in terms of maybe there could be some changes coming in his game in the near future that could be a big difference maker. I'll just leave it at that.
And on the topic of draft strategy, the Bay Area Breakers opted to choose their men, both of their men, last. Rafa Hewitt was taken in the 3rd round. Connor Garnett, a 4th round selection. Pick number 38, of course, receiving the promotion from the challenger level.
15 seconds, gentlemen.
Arizona Drive went Guy first, then they went Girl. They picked up Vivian David in the 2nd round, and then, of course, grabbed DUPR in the 3rd, rounding it out with Vivian Glosman. Just a different approach from who's available, who's on the board, but how much fun was that draft back in July? You were there in New York City.
And you can have a good plan in the draft, but often it goes to crap. You have to take what the draft gives you, and so it's very important as the player pool and your draft pick can really affect who you get on your team.
And by the way, Adam, congratulations in store for you, friend. The Hard Eights, your 2023 MLP Challenger level champs.
Yes,
way to draft well.
Thank you, and I think coaches probably get too much blame and too much credit, but I am certainly a little jacked up right now. I can't deny that.
I'm curious though, what did you see in CJ Klinger that said he was the guy? Because he seemed to be the difference maker in that last final.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and I think it's a similar situation with Connor Garnett. Where he was drafted, his stock has risen since the draft. It's only been a short period of time, but the same thing for CJ Klinger. These younger players and these players that are less tenured ended up really taking bigger steps forward, and that's what we saw with CJ Klinger.
That was a fun one to watch. We'll see how many more Dream Breakers we will have in store. Garnett for MVP. The fans are demanding it.
He's got fans.
That's right.
I'm also curious, you know Deckel obviously very well. What does he look like on the right side?
Oh, he's played, believe it or not, the first 2 to 2.5 years we played together, he played the right side.
You were the left sider?
Oh, yes.
A lot of court coverage over there.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Cam coming in hot there. Yes. So he also had some really nice right side results with J.W. Johnson, a handful, maybe 8 to 12 tournaments they played together. So believe it or not, the big man, very comfortable on the right. My goodness.
We're coming in hot.
I missed you, Adam. I'm sorry. It's been a minute.
I have thick skin.
Welcome back to the booth, Adam. We missed you today. We had to throw some jabs early.
He wins a trophy. We got to bring him back to earth.
Time in.
Wins 1 trophy.
0-0.
Comes in hot. Just kidding, Adam. We never have an issue with that. First serve underway. Arizona Drive to Bay Area.
Point.
Really steady point to get started. Everyone just some short, shallow dinks through the middle right now.
1-0. Side out, point 1.
Great man off of Hewitt, of course. The lefty in the middle changes things in men's doubles. Love you to dive into where you're
1-1.
targeting after the serve, Adam.
two forehands to get past. We'll have to monitor that.
And that backhand which we've only just touched upon. He says it comes more from baseball than it does tennis, ironically enough, with that top spin, overspin. His words, not mine. Adam?
Side out, point 3.
About that. But
his contact point. Yes. He swings over it.
Right. The key for me with the Garnett backhand is he can go to all the spots. With the forehand off the bounce up the middle with a nice two-shot combination there. Catching Rafa with the left shoulder.
Bar serve comes from such a high contact point. It puts them behind on the very first contact. The shallow return, Julian Arnold quick to pounce.
That's the danger of that big frame on the right, I suppose.
I mean, what a luxury to have that kind of put-away power on the right side, as you mentioned, Michelle. You don't see that too frequently.
Drive like that to match from Pickleball.
I mean, this is crazy. We say in pickleball that you can't necessarily serve and volley, but this team can serve and crash off of a bounce.
Yeah! And I get that Rafa Hewitt's a lefty. I like the big boys on the right and the two little guys on the left. But it's a little different than it normally is.
Why do you appreciate that, Adam?
Because I just love little guys.
Point.
It's interesting too. We talked about kind of having to protect against the two forehands in the middle. Julian, his one speed up we've really seen went to the Garnett backhand.
And Connor is sitting heavy middle because he knows the patterns of Julian Arnold well. So a nice adjustment from Julian.
5-7.
Back shoulder.
Side out, point 8.
I think a key for Pickleball on the right, he doesn't do it as much as he does on the left, but
8-5.
to counter with the backhand instead of going scorpion with the forehand.
Side out, point 6.
And you saw it right there. You talked about it early on. For Connor Garnett, his ability to have range with that two-hand backhand is such a difference maker. Because he can roll that ball along the length of the line, it really opens up his ability to create space.
Was definitely questionable, and the hands of gold just bails him out beautifully.
But they're not happy about something immediately. Rafa Hewitt and Connor Garnett were standing there.
Two-hit contact on Julian, yes.
Talking about touching someone.
Bay Area breakers are challenging that their opponent double hit the ball prior to the end of the rally. As the rally stands, it's currently 9-6 AZ drive serving.
So what is the challenge?
They're challenging that Julian Arnold had a double hit before the put-away shot, I believe.
Okay.
According to Bay Area. Well, we have a moment. Let's talk ownership groups for both sides, Bay Area and Arizona. Morgan Evans, the general manager you see there for the Arizona Drive. Larry Fitzgerald, Devin Booker, Dirks Bentley, Michael Phelps, Doug Hirsch, just to name a few. Got to play pickleball with Doug Hirsch. Packs a powerful punch on the forehand and the serve.
He does not like to dink.
Cameron got to play this morning.
Does not like to dink.
That's the scouting report there. And for Bay Area, Jeff Nigel, the GM for Bay Area. Jeremy Lin, one of the owners, Mimi Mercado, David Mercado, Jeff, Stacy, another Jeff.
Yeah, so I believe Morgan Evans is GM coach, and Scott Crandall is the coach of the Bay Area Breakers, and two very, very quality pickleball minds.
So there's the play being challenged.
No, he's good.
What do you see?
I think he's good. I mean, that's one motion, didn't clip the shirt, all paddle, I believe. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
That amount of replays making it look like a GIF at this point.
Onisha Smith, Ron Ponder, Vicky Ryan talking things over.
Yeah, Julian just looks over at me, just shaking his head like, what are they challenging? It's nothing. I mean, no problem. It's just.
What do you mean I double hit it?
After review, there is no evidence of a double hit.
On the sideline of the Breakers, there is
Bay
no
Area
double
Breakers
hit.
loses one free challenge.
It was
they have two remaining. AZ Drive still has
hit.
3 free challenges. Resume play at 9-6 AZ Drive serving.
I'll tell you what, that's how you go 7-1 in pool play. I'll tell you what. Playing
Time
amazing
in.
right
Seriously
now.
impressive.
9-6.
This is where they're going to be forced to try and create off that Connor Garnett two-hand backhand. He has the ability, kind of goes with a slice there instead, trying to find some different offense.
Point 11-6.
Another very nice drive from Julian Arnold, catching Rafa Hewitt transitioning in the Arizona drive, really firing away right now and playing a very clean game.
Arizona drive. Driving the momentum so far at 11-6 occurring. What's your message right now for the Bay Area Breakers if you're their coach like Scott Crandall?
You just got to stay patient. You saw Connor Garnett force that last two-handed backhand off the bounce, which is a nice shot for him. Julian Arnold missed one dink in the middle with the forehand, but all of his backhand dinks have been lower and unattackable. You just have to keep dinking and stay patient until you get your opportunity.
And I will mirror that sentiment. I also think maybe Connor Garnett has the ability to look for the left foot of Dekel Bar a little bit. Maybe dink one up the line, change the pattern, because it was very clear Julian Arnold is in quite a rhythmic state right now. Really impressed with his footwork. He's getting there to that backhand slice with plenty of time, sitting almost waiting for that ball to come down. Aggressive cut dinks coming cross court. So they've got to change a little bit of the rhythm and the pattern. Maybe one ball sent to the line to get a different look.
Time in.
Yeah, and especially easy to stay patient with Rafa Hewitt, known as kind of a smasher and crasher and really firing away. His dink consistency has gotten so much better in the last year or so, so no worries.
That smasher and crasher.
Didn't miss that dink, but he certainly left it high enough for Julian to be offensive, and he was.
12-6.
Obviously that ball was up, not much he can do, but different look.
Yeah, always tough to attack the chest of the big man. If you get to the hip, that's the spot.
Just got an answer to his speed up. Nice two-hand backhand on the side of Rafa Hewitt.
8-12.
Light chirping there too. Light, very light.
Tweety Bird.
It's just, I mean, all you can do is chuckle, like I did right there. It's just such a tough break. Like hit two shots at Mach 8 and then just trickle one over for the winner. They get the hard ones back. biggest strength of Deckel's game, but when you have that 6'3" frame and that wingspan, you're going to get a lot of balls back.
Had one shot to maybe attack out of the air, but instead dinged back, created some problems.
Wow.
Yeah, don't let these boys get the energy going. You see they're not barking to their opponents, they're barking to each other, getting each other fired up. This is what they need.
That was a baby chest bump. You guys missed the celebration.
11-13.
Shadows are creeping in here on center court.
How about this, ladies? I think with the Bay Area Breakers, we're going to have the two best two-handed backhand ATPs in the game with Rafa Hewitt and Connor Garnett.
Watch out, they're starting to say round them up right now, too. The fans, the fingers are high in the sky, and they're circling.
And here's another question for you. So who thrives on energy more, Julian Arnold or Rafa Hewitt? Tough question. That's why I asked it.
Rafa Hewitt.
Yeah, I like it. I'm with you. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
That's why he's made for this MLP format.
I think Rafa,
both players essentially are, but I think Rafa a little bit more. He gets a little bit more out of his game.
I think Rafa gains more from the fans, whereas Julian can create his own energy.
First point of the game. He'll throw out an Andiamo. But is that sustainable? The crowd's always going to be there, but is your energy always going to be there?
For him, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair point. What's your answer to that question?
No, I think those answers were perfect.
15 seconds.
No, really.
That's because we split them. So
yeah, no.
No.
I'm going to stick with Cam, and I'm going to go Rafa Hewitt.
I said Rafa Hewitt.
Oh, yes, Michelle, that's what I said. That's what I said. Come on, ladies. Jeez.
Time in. 12-13.
We both win.
Yep.
Forehands in the middle, like I said. He squeezed it by a couple times in the first half of the match. Not this time. Great cover from Connor Garnett.
Go, Connor! 13-13. Side out, point forward.
It's also going to be something you mentioned. Shadows starting to come in. We saw yesterday at about this time frame.
14-13
do play a factor in terms of your vision during those hands battles.
No shortage of firefights here. The balls that some of these guys can get back is insane.
I mean, that's a great example right there, whether it's Rafa Hewitt or Connor Garnett, just extended play as they drop back off the kitchen line. I was wondering if that was going to come about, that one-hand kind of roll. We've only seen it once before this point, but I don't know if that's his strongest shot right there. Two in a row on some of those counters, but it's more about creating from that spot where my questions lie.
No, I agree completely. He prefers the two-hander off the bounce to create. go home and don't play for a little bit and come to a tournament and play. That is the biggest thing for me when I get on court with these guys. I think I hit a good shot. No. You have to hit literally 7 or 8 good quality balls to end the point. So good.
Yeah,
you don't always get that in men's doubles.
Yeah, we've had a combination of dink points and full-on offense, and I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Again, it's tough for him. His paddle position is almost a downward trajectory too, and so it's not a whole lot of leverage for him to be able to counter right there.
For Deckelbar.
Yes.
Go.
Yeah, I agree. I think a straight punch, a little bit more linear, straight to the ball. I mean, the man obviously has plenty of power, so I could completely agree with that.
Just short. Connor Garnett. An ambitious ATP attempt.
Yeah, it was there. It was just very difficult. Times he has caught Connor Garnett leaning to the middle with his forehand with that incredible topspin forehand roll from Julian Arnold. Great spots, great locations from him throughout this match.
19-17.
Game point to match.
Again, Connor Garnett trying to protect that middle, finds 2 compact strokes, but that last one gets a little behind his shoulder.
2017.
But you do have to win on your serve and a missed third shot drop for Deckelbar. Bay Area climbs within 2.
18-20.
Arizona will have to side them out to have another chance at a game point.
Stick with it. Incredible get from Connor Garnett, and Julian Arnold not even phase, speeds up the next ball with incredible precision.
2018.
Finishes 21-18 finish. Really the most effective
I just think Julian Arnold's offense was spectacular. He started the fire a lot. I know Deckelbar ended up cleaning it up several times, but the initiator was Julian Arnold, and he did it very well.
Yeah, and I'll second that. I was really impressed with his ability to pinpoint Connor Garnett. We mentioned multiple times how far Connor was shifting middle, but even on that last ball, that was a one-step ahead play for Julian as he goes towards the belly button with Connor still sitting a little bit middle. So again, great job in terms of offense from Arnold.
Well, Arizona won the toss. There's a reason they opted to put their men's doubles team out first. They felt confident, and that confidence matched with performance as we check in now with Dominic Catalano standing by with Julian Arnold and Deckelbar.
Julian, I'll start with you. What was the reasoning behind you guys throwing men's doubles out there first?
Just a request from our girls team. Switch things up a little bit. Declan and I are just here to play, so 1, 2, it doesn't matter. We got to go out there and compete, so it doesn't matter to me, and if that makes the girls happy, then we'll do it.
Well, it worked so far, and then Deckel, you guys get out to a good lead. They come back. What do you guys discuss there as you call that timeout?
Just kind of to stop their run. We know they both get hot and cold, so just wanted to stop the run. We knew they can't stay hot for too long, and just want to get a run of our own.
All right, Arizona Drive take a 1-0 lead on the women's doubles next here on Championship Court at MLP by Margaritaville.
Innovation is our specialty. Winning is his. Zane Navratil has won more than 40 Pro Gold medals and back-to-back Major League Pickleball titles. One of pickleball's most iconic and decorated athletes teamed up with our world-class engineers with one goal in mind: build a paddle that can dominate. The Zane Navratil Signature Paddle, designed for champions by champions. Available now. ProXR Pickleball. Innovation you can handle.
Dulce Vida Tequila. Tequila, pure and simple.
The all-new Prius. Toyota. Let's go places.
Etta Wright and Leah Jansen take the stage for Bay Area, trying to make it a 1-1 series. They're down a game, and Arizona boasts the duo of Vivian Glosman and Vivian David. So, Cam, starting with you. Bay Area Breakers, Etta Wright and Leah Jansen, what do you have your eyes on with this matchup?
Well, this is a matchup that's really interesting in terms of their ability to create offense. Leah Jansen and Etta Wright, both very solid. We've talked about at the beginning of this matchup in terms of their right and left play. But what I also love is that I think Etta Wright has some of the best hands in terms of her ability to counter on both sides of her body. That was one of the things that I always thought separated her in terms of the forehand counter as well as the backhand counter. And Leah Jansen, I mean, you want to talk about somebody that has an all-around game, it's Leah. Great drives from the baseline, plenty of offense. She's good in terms of redirecting balls to be able to create opportunities for herself. So watch for Leah Jansen to really get after it from the kitchen line.
And for Arizona, the Vivians, what do you have your eyes on here, Adam?
So Vivian Glosman has stated that she prefers playing the left side, is more comfortable there, and who better to pair her with than one of the best right side rocks in all of pickleball. Vivian David, the Vivians know their role, and they are going to play well.
Giannis play first. Vivian David back to serve. Patient point for Vivian Glosman right out of the gate. One of 6 players to make the jump from Challenger to Premier. A lot of eyes on her this season.
1-0. Side out, point 1.
Nice line-to-line dink there from Leah Jansen. We talked about their proficiency on both sides of their body. Well, what does that allow them to do? It allows them to hold their court position better. They don't have to necessarily have that extra footwork to be able to find a dink on a preferred side.
Point.
And that's that counter I'm talking about from Leah Jansen. Her ability to have that one-hand backhand is just so important.
Shadows are creeping, ladies.
2-1.
Point. Yeah, to your point, I was told yesterday the side that Arizona is on right now is the tougher side with the shadows creeping in and the sun in your eyes. Keep an eye on that to continue.
3-1.
Yeah, element's always an issue, and it seems like the breeze has died down just a little bit. It was swirling more in that challenger final, and I think we have a pretty calm elements right now.
The first thing that stands out about Vivian Glosman right now is her ability to volley a backhand slice, really cut to that ball to be able to create a shallow ball. But the other important thing, how did she go about speeding up that ball? 2 hands, that might be a tell.
Point.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Ederite attack that straight ahead. She looked for the cross-court opportunity, caught the tape, but some very structured points early from the ladies. Sometimes we see some wild swings, and they are very under control up at the kitchen line right now.
Take the bounce.
And one of the few people in the game who actually is sorry when she hits a board and dribbles over.
Again, it's that cross-court slice-to-slice battle between Glosman and Etta Wright. I'm curious to see when Etta might switch it up and change her target just a bit. Maybe go to the forehand, just send one ball dinking to the middle. The other interesting part is we've seen Etta Wright kind of send that ball in terms of the return towards the direction of Glosman, who has driven the ball more often than not, and they haven't really countered heavily back.
Yeah, the Arizona drive match that I called in pool play, Glosman, I mean, I'm talking 85+ clip on drives to drops. She really likes to release on that third shot. Dinking very well. I would, on paper, definitely give that advantage to Etta Wright, but Vivian Glosman on point with her dinks early.
Immediately looking to her partner because the setup shot was that one. Great wrist flexion right there from Etta Wright, rolling that ball to the foot of Glosman.
6-7.
Drive to really put pressure through the middle, force some issues for Wright.
8-6. Point.
Dropped in. I was blocked off from seeing it. Dropped inside, right? Yes. Nice drive. Vivian Glosman playing well early.
9-6.
Mercy Virginia played her freshman year at Cal. Anna Bright while she was there. counterpunch smash for Glossman.
Yeah, really nice job. She actually started to drop her paddle down almost as if she was about to dink, and then has the quick reaction speed, keeps it nice and compact, shoulder height. Good counter from Glossman. That's the first real counter we've seen from the drive, though, for Etta Wright. That was where I was going. I feel like they could maybe start to apply a little bit of pressure off that fourth ball.
Flipping that so controlled, using, I mean, about 6 feet, so the wingspan is so good from her. So hard to make that ball bounce in front of her. And hey, she can take that second hand off and get a little extra reach. Nothing the breakers can do as it splits the seam.
Arizona leads 11-7 here at the end change. Bay Area down a game and now down 4. Things looking a little bleak, but anything can change in an instant with rally scoring. Here's a good look at Vivian David, based in Dripping Springs, Texas. She's one of the classic veterans of the sport, 26 years old, but she's been one of the pros that's been playing the longest. She's discovered the sport back in 2013, spent a lot of time, family very familiar with pickleball and other racket sports. And Vivian Glossman, a new name in the mix here on the premier side of things, 23 years old. What kind of upside does she have with that frame, that athletic tennis background? And she's, what, over 6 foot? Can command the kitchen in a women's
15 seconds.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And you talked about the 6 foot frame. Well, she's done a really nice job against Etta Wright in that cross court battle, especially with her ability to volley and take away time. None of these dinks are really getting away from her. We haven't seen her get herself into trouble in terms of chasing a dink wide on the court because of her length.
Yeah, and I'm fine with the breakers testing Glossman early, but she has been up to the task. So let's see if the ball distribution gets a little bit more even, or they even possibly target the veteran on the right side in Vivian David.
11-7. Side out, point 8.
That is scary. That is not what you want. That was a great drive right there. That was right on the paddle of Glossman.
8-11.
Very high on the third, but just to go back to that previous easy error from Glossman, she can't believe it. Vivian just chuckles, and then Vivian Glossman starts chuckling. It's so nice to have that veteran presence as a partner.
Showing that she can also add some pressure off the edge. This is not easily done. Great read and execution, staying out of the kitchen.
Point.
Nice drop there from Leah Jansen. One very high drop a couple points ago. She redeems herself.
10-12. Side out, point 13.
Really nice rolling dink. Not all the time do you have to be so aggressive with the amount of power. The spin can do the damage. That's a great example from David.
That's right, that's the layup, as it just kind of trickles over, and she's just nice and patient, and it's always great when you can pull it back into the heart of the court on an ATP.
The layup, very nice, Adam.
There we go, much better ball. We saw Etta Wright try that earlier from a lower position. This one more up at the waist level, and she catches Vivian Glossman on that left hip.
12-13. Point.
Good comeback from Bay Area.
She didn't even read that and then go. She was beelining for a poach as soon as Leah Jansen struck that third shot.
Side out, point 14.
There you go. That's foreigners when they speak in native tongue, and Americans, when they say their first name, they are not happy with themselves. And Leah Jansen said, Leah, right there. It's true. Deckel Ball right here, he agrees. He's Israeli, he's not happy. That's okay, that's how it goes.
I also like that his bench position right now is sitting right next to you.
We're buddies.
It's on the opposite side of the court.
14-14.
Shoulder actually puts Etta Wright a little bit on a merry-go-round right here. She has to turn all the way back around, find the ball, and still look for the drop.
Arizona had a 15-15 to start this one. Not so fast with Rowley scoring. Make it the first lead of the game for Bay Area.
Nice serve right in the body of Glosman.
16-15.
We might see that just because we've seen kind of that slice continue the cross-court battle with Glosman, but I was wondering if Etta was going to start to try and create.
Nice firefight there. And yes, to touch on your point, most of these players prefer to roll topspin off of slice. So that makes a lot of sense, even though she couldn't come up with that ball 2 points ago.
17-16.
This is where you have the ability to read and read so well that you're early. She pulls this ball because she's ahead of it with her paddle.
The wingspan again. It was a good look in the middle from Etta Wright, and there was a sliver and an opening, but Glosman closed it very quickly.
18-17.
Etta Wright again, that's been one of the biggest differences. Watch her at this fourth right here. Adds the pressure right at the foot as you have to pay attention to David, who's coming in trying to crash off that ball. You don't get that down, she's poaching it.
That's a good target, too, from Jansen on the left foot. Vivian David gets as low as anyone. But if you're going to target one spot, that is it to get an error in a soft situation.
And especially that right shoulder of Glosman just inside her body, that's going to be a lot of trouble for Glosman.
Morgan Evans calls a timeout for his team, and they will have to regroup. Adam, you've been in this position where you've had to coach your players up down to fending off a game point. You do have the game of insurance on your side, fortunately, but what's the conversation looking like on the side of Arizona?
Yeah, and always in these later stages, it might be 1 or 2 targets, but we're not going to get too specific this late in the game. We don't want to take too many differences or implement something very new in these tight moments. So execution, of course, maybe a target on the return or possibly targeting one player at the kitchen line, but it's nothing going to be too earth-shattering, just encouragement and making sure your team executes.
Final stretch of the game for Bay Area. What's your X factor in this one, Cameron?
I think it's going to be that Ederite speed up potentially. They have a 2-point advantage, so they have a little bit of grace in terms of still maintaining their aggressive play. They don't necessarily have to grind through a point. I think their ability to execute not only this third shot, but stick with this dink rally and still be the aggressor could be the difference maker.
Time in. 2018. Side out, point 19.
From Leah Jansen, one of the veterans. Brings a point and serve back to Arizona. No more freeze here in Major League Pickleball, but you do have to win by 2, and you have to win on your serve. Big point for Arizona, who could tie it here.
Very late getting to the kitchen. Osmond making her pay.
From Eder Wright. I didn't know she had that much lateral movement in her. That was a really impressive jump of the kitchen corner.
She's a cool customer, but some real emotion from her after an incredible journey.
Game point, Bay Area.
Point 21.
And point goes to Arizona. You have to win by 2, and you must win on your serve. That's why the
21-21.
situation is what it is.
She actually had to kind of work to her left side right there. I think she expected Glosman to come over and hurt that ball.
22-21.
Every dink's a little tighter. It's harder to get to the kitchen. All the soft stuff becomes a bit of
22-22.
Leah Jansen made sure we heard it.
She made sure about 3 courts over did.
A lot of sun in the eyes right now, despite being half the court in the shade.
Side. A couple shots later, Eder Wright with a great speed up. Nice job. Breakers.
I mean, that was a wild shot from Vivian David in the middle of that. That push across court. I thought she was going to have it, but ultimately it's that backhand speed up from Eder Wright that seals the deal.
What does Vivian Glosman need to do on that? She got burned on that several times in this matchup.
And it was a consistent error. They were almost all long. She wasn't missing in the tape too frequently. So just got to get more on top of that ball, get down. She had a nice short stroke, just a couple too many errors.
Eder Wright And Leah Jansen survived what was a close game as we check in now with Dominic Catalano to discuss.
Wow, Leah, what a finish right there. You had a couple opportunities and then in the end finished that off. How big is that for you guys to even it up one apiece?
I mean, it's huge. Going into mix 1-1 is great. And I'm just so happy that miss serve didn't come back to haunt me.
I agree, Leah. Great job, good finish. Etta, you knew you were going to go cross court there with Vivian, with Glosman, cross court there. Was that something you guys had planned ahead of time, knowing you're going to kind of target her there?
A little bit, but again, they're both a solid team, and so it was tight throughout the whole match, and just glad we pulled her off.
All right, well, congratulations. Etta Wright, Leah Jansen moving on, and it's one game apiece here for the Bay Area Breakers and the Arizona Drive. We'll have mixed doubles right after this break.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob ULTRA, superior light beer.
The all-new Prius. Toyota. Let's go places.
Match point. It's all up to me. Nothing can get in my way. And when they ask, what are you gonna do next? I'll say, I'm going.
We're going to Margaritaville!
You can go to Margaritaville too. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com.
Back on championship court, the thrilling matchup between the Bay Area Breakers and Arizona Drive continues. We move on to the mixed doubles round. Remember, Arizona won the toss. They chose to react in this circumstance when it came to the mixed doubles, so Bay Area had to lay their hand first. They put out Rafa Hewitt and Leah Jansen, to which Arizona countered with DUPR and Vivian Glosman. Now, this was something you had told us to keep our eyes on, with Vivian Glosman now turning over to mixed doubles. What kind of pressured situation does she find herself in here, and what does she need to do to sort through it after a women's doubles loss?
Well, I'll tell you what, her left side dinking was on point in that women's match. Of course, had a couple forehands sprinkled in, but mostly backhands. Completely different situation here on the forehand side, the right side, playing with DUPR, and that is absolutely my biggest factor in this match, is Vivian Glosman dinking on the right.
And the other nuance here, Rafa Hewitt, a lefty in this situation, so that changes who you're going up against, men and women. Typically the rotation is women are cross court from each other, men are cross court from each other. Now that could very well change things here, so strategically speaking, what are you looking at?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The fact that Rafa Hewitt can really start to get aggressive in terms of looking for that forehand, he'll be playing on that right side. It's going to be interesting to see just how much he can create opportunities alongside Leah Jansen.
Would you rather go cross-court on the guy or down the line on the guy in mixed doubles?
It's certainly opponent dependent, but I actually played a decent amount of right side as a right-hander in mixed, which is unusual. So I would actually, you know what? I would actually prefer to be head up with the fella.
Please
I would.
Game ball.
Just because for my specific patterns, I think that's better. I'm not as much of an imposing force in mixed doubles with the wingspan and some of the athleticism of these guys. So I would say throughout my career, I was completely fine lining up in that way.
So Bar, in theory, then will go straight up on Rafa Hewitt. Is there ever a situation, since Vivian Glosman rather likes playing the left, that you would switch Bar to the right if they get in some sort of funk, or is that an absolute no?
Deckel does not want to do that. He does not. And Deckel is a good friend, but he's a little stubborn as well. So I would be pretty shocked if that happens, but you never know.
I was going to say it might be more like Glosman in that case would be playing all the way with her foot on the sideline, and Deckel would be playing singles.
Maybe not in this sequence against a lefty, but we shall see. Rafa Hewitt. Round him up, Rafa, they call him. He lives and thrives for Major League Pickleball. Loves being in these moments. The bigger the pressure, the bigger the stage, the louder the Rafa.
I like that. The louder the Rafa.
Game 3, time in.
Factual.
0-0.
And Glosman will start off the serve to Rafa Hewitt.
That's right, full slide. She's got that luxury with the lefty paw of Rafa Hewitt in the middle. She doesn't have to worry about that backhand in that situation, and she smacked 2 forehands. Very impressive.
She has to do is recoil that forehand twice and finish the play.
Just off the tape, a nice lean in from Glosman, looking to finish the point with the forehand. Net had other ideas.
3-0. Sign out, point 1.
It's always tempting when that player is transitioning forward to target them. And that time it didn't work out for Leah Jansen.
You can see just how much pressure is put on from that, again, that Deckel serve. Probably one of the top, we'll call them 3 servers in the game.
Yeah, maybe even 1, who knows?
2-3.
It's very heavy.
Rafa Hewitt.
Was it just a light? Yeah, that was yeah.
Simple.
He's built.
Working his way in.
He's building.
4-2.
He's waiting for the fans. Remember, guys, we had this conversation.
Nice return. Sign out, point 3. 3-4. Point.
I'm not even sure if Rafa's ball that he just ATP'd, the one that came off, was this even good?
Very close. In real time, I wouldn't have been shocked at all if he called it out. He's still chirping about something.
4-4.
He's upset with himself that he didn't call it out.
There you go.
Sign out, point 5.
You have to be so wary of Rafa. That was a really quick move to open up that forehand. Osman's going to have to deal with his forehand coming cross court, whether it's a side up or a dink, and that thing can be real slippery.
Corner jump from Deckel. I didn't think he could get there, but Rafa Hewitt with a little swipe with the forehand and puts it right in between the 2 Arizona Drive players.
Point.
Turn was called back. Vivian Glossman.
7-4.
Yeah, the inside-out forehand, that's the one he prefers. And of course, it lines up very well for him that the female is on the right side. So, Rafa Hewitt, inside-out forehand, world class. Really nice job from Leah Jansen digging. And just a small note, Deckelbar's favorite put-away is the slap forehand cross-court, and that's going right at Rafa Hewitt, who is a very scrappy and good defensive player. A tennis ball. I mean, he bounced that almost went
the highest I've seen a pickleball bounce.
Right, almost went up into the owner's tent. Unbelievable.
They raised their hands up in the owner's tent trying to grab it.
We talked about the Deckelbar serve, and he gets one or two errors with that serve because he gets so much benefit from it.
Shallow into the kitchen, and everyone kind of panics because the number of times we've seen someone hit that at the top of the tape is far too many to count. But I love it. Deckelbar unafraid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dicey decision from a low point, but neither of her opponents moved. So she did have some deception or her frequency. She had not tried that shot. So I would say I don't love it, don't hate it.
Well, an 11-6 lead now to Bay Area, and it feels like they have found their rhythm while it's seemingly separated for Arizona between Glossman and Deckelbar. What do Barr and Glossman need to do to slow down Jansen and Hewitt or neutralize?
We just need more Deckelbar. We haven't been able to. He had a couple clean it up putaways, but in terms of creating or starting the fire, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. So he's got to find a way to start the offense from the kitchen line, and of course he has that clean up putaway power.
I also think it's interesting when you think about the matchups for both of these mixed, right? So Bay Area was the reactors to this, so they wanted this to be the matchup, but I can't help myself but think about the next one. They wanted Connor Garnett and Etta Wright up against Vivian David and Julian Arnold.
Ambassador for the sport. We really appreciate it. And here is a Grillo's Pickleball.
Oh, excuse me, Arizona reacted, thank you.
Time in. 11-6.
Nice. Nice coming from Glossman down the middle. Pounced on the opportunity, short, high return.
And that's why he gets to miss a couple serves, because those kind of situation happens when he does not miss it.
That's a good point. That was a good setup from Leah Jansen to pull Deckelbar off the center line.
We're going to talk about executing a game plan. This is it. Pull out that forehand, Leah Jansen slide over. They're both on the same page.
Increasing.
13-6.
Vivian Glosman deceptive at about 50%. Leah Jansen thinking that ball was going to come with much more pace. Nice use of pace offense from Glosman. Big hands from DUPR after a really nice step over to protect Leah Jansen, who was moving forward, but just too much wingspan and power from DUPR.
10-13.
It's interesting too because Deckel just put out a massive yell after that last point.
14-10.
Misses the third. He's like, all right, slow this thing down.
Really?
Got
There's one thing you can learn from some of those balls off of Glosman is the fact that change of pace can be really, really detrimental in terms of timing.
And a tough break. DUPR has a big drive, but that one clipping the tape, nothing the breakers can do.
12-14.
Jansen bags DUPR.
And I hate to say it, but big man, big target.
Hey, but don't take it away.
You were sitting on that one.
That's fun.
15-12.
Big drive from Leah Jansen.
Yeah, and whether from the back of the court or at the kitchen line, I think the difference in this match so far is the Leah Jansen forehand.
16-12.
4-point lead now for Bay Area.
Side out, point.
Just set up a sky ball. That would have been the highest lob I've ever seen effective in the game of pickleball.
Well, when the situation's dire, sometimes that's all you can do.
Point.
I don't know, that serve was looking real high.
Yeah, I can start getting in opponents' heads as well. It's just
16-14.
From DUPR.
Yeah, nice job weathering a storm from Hewitt and Jansen by Vivian Glosman, and then her left side buddy over there helps her clean it up.
It's a big crouch for a big fella.
15-16.
And a huge run, tie game.
Yeah, and a huge drive right there again. Watch the shape off of DUPR in terms of creating a ton of dip on that drive.
16-16. Side out, point 17.
Yeah, nice reach in from Leah Jansen with the one-handed backhand, also getting tight to the kitchen line as well. Right at the feet of her very tall opponent, Vivian Glosman.
17-16. Football!
Timely football called on DUPR.
Yeah, I believe it was on the takeoff. She called that very early. Looks like we're discussing a challenge.
You might as well, right? You're in the third game, you get 3 free
AZ Drive is challenging the referee's football call. As it stands, Bay Area Breakers are serving at 18-16.
I mean, it's great leaping ability and athleticism, but also size 16 shoes. So, you know, it's foot faults are an issue.
Yet another
I mean, it's
downfall of the big.
Oh yeah, big time. Left toe on the takeoff. Landing looks clean, but the toe is on the white line. Tough break for Deckel. What is going on here, ladies? My goodness.
It's my favorite. Here you analyze the big frames on tour.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of them. I guess it's literally every player compared to me.
Good look at the commish. Brooks Wiley, Zubin Mehta, one of the proud owners. I believe that's Al Tylas.
That's correct.
DC Pickleball as well in the mix. DC still alive, as we talked about. They got the first bye. Nope, sorry, the second bye to Orlando. That will be the semifinal matches taking place tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m.
Deckel looked over at me.
After video review,
and I had
the
to give him the
referee's
thumbs down.
call is confirmed. AD Drive will lose 1 free video challenge. They have 2 remaining.
Stressed out.
Bay Area Breakers also has 2 free video challenges remaining. We will resume play at 18:16. Bay Area Breakers serving. Time it.
Hewitt and Leah Jansen will take back a 2-point lead. Bar.
That would have been big trouble had it gone over, but it didn't. Nice control of the kitchen line from the drive.
Size 16 shoe and all.
I really like the way he kind of snags in there. He keeps looking at his Adidas paddle right now after creating a ton of shape. Watch the amount of spin. You can tell just from the bounce how hard that thing came off.
19-17.
He crouched the previous shot. He just holds the crouch. He's just there.
He knew it was coming.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
18-19.
Thighs of steel.
Do the Catholic thanking his lucky stars, praying over there because he was worried that ball was going to drop in. Rafa Hewitt always doing something like getting the crowd pumped up right now.
Showing the Holy Spirit and the crowd here in Atlanta. Rafa Hewitt.
Drop it in.
Going to round up a 1-game lead on Arizona here. 8-point.
Picking up his teammates. He's a big fan of that. He's done it throughout his career, and he deserved to do it to Leah Jansen, who stepped up big for him, and of course, Rafa Hewitt played great as well.
Yeah, there was a little indecisiveness in terms of the celebration here from Leah. She knew it was coming, but
I don't think she was fully having it.
She wasn't. It was. She was anchored to the ground.
That's hilarious. Arizona trails a game. Now the second mixed doubles matchup will come out. Remember, Arizona had their pick of the draw when it came to this matchup. This is the matchup they saved. Julian Arnold and Vivian David for Etta Wright and Connor Garnett. This is going to be close. Can't wait to watch it. But for now, let's check in with Dominic Catalano standing by with Rafa Hewitt and Leah Jansen.
Leah, another huge answer. After going down 1-0, you are part of the next 2 wins. How big is that for you guys going into this final mixed match?
It's huge. I mean, we're really confident in our singles, so I feel like Etta and Connor can go out and play loose, but they're also a great team, so we're pretty confident now going in with this lead.
And Rafa, obviously a fan favorite, feeding off of this energy. How is it here on Championship Court?
Oh, it's amazing. We love this ATL. Thank you guys so much for showing up and showing out. Let's go, baby! Let's go, Vegas!
And Rafa, quick question. Going into this, you have Garnett, Wright. How confident are you going into this last mixed double matchup?
Bread and butter.
You had heard it here first from Rafa Hewitt, Leah Jansen. They put the Bay Area Breakers up 2-1, leading into the final mixed doubles matchup next here on Championship Court.
Thanks.
Jake from State Farm, I really need to know.
Go spicy or go home, right?
What? No.
What if I'm not sure I have the right coverage for my car?
Oh, your agent can help me make sure it's just what you need.
What if I accidentally hit a food truck and it gets covered in empanadas?
You can file a claim on the app. At State Farm, we're there for your what-ifs.
Thanks.
Oh.
That is too spicy. That's for you.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball.
I just didn't want to look like everybody else. It just didn't suit who I was. It didn't fit my persona. It didn't fit my image. I rep the stuff because I love it. I rep it because it's quality, and I like the fact that I look a little fly. It's been huge because it identifies me. I feel like I stand out. People reference me to the shirts all the time. They know me as the guy who wears the flashy shirts, and I'm cool with that.
Championship court for our final mixed doubles matchup of the quarterfinal match between Arizona and Bay Area. According to the numbers, well, Connor Garnett and Etta Wright, they have a great chance of winning this 58% against, well, that graphic was slightly incorrect, Julian Arnold and Vivian David, so I'm not sure if that had an impact on the numbers because Vivian Glosman just came out with Dekel Bar. But numbers aside, there's a reason we play the games, Adam. So what's the X factor for you, both sides?
For me, for the Arizona drive, it's always Julian Arnold. I wouldn't, especially when he's playing with Vivian David, because she's a known commodity. We know what we're going to get from her. Quality midcourt play, quality forehand dinks, and great two-handed backhand counters. So he is going to have to be the one to create the offense and clean it up once it gets started. So if he plays well, Arizona drive in a great spot to push this to a dream breaker.
Okay, so it does change the numbers slightly. 58% to now 51% with Vivian David in the mix, according to DUPR, that is. So Cameron, what are you watching out for in this matchup?
What we saw in the men's doubles competition, which is you're going to see Julian Arnold have to go up against Connor Garnett in that cross-court battle. I think it's going to be really interesting because they utilize different spins at times, right? So you have, if they're going both with their backhands, it's the slice of Julian Arnold versus that topspin roll of Connor Garnett. I would love to see Connor almost at times maybe back off, let the ball bounce, and see if he can create more opportunities just because he does love his two-handers so much. He wasn't able to create a ton of offense in the men's matchup because of that.
Yeah, and a really extended conversation between Garnett and Wright and their head coach, Scott Randall, high-end senior pro. I'm sure he had some great strategy and encouragement for his team. Let's see if they can get off to a quick start.
Winner of this one will play Orlando at 10 a.m. That's what's at stake in the semifinal. I think I'd rather have the 10 a.m. match versus the 8 a.m. match, although I don't know.
Got a little break in between. It could be kind of nice, actually. 10 a.m. to the 1.
1-0. I think 12 to 1's Picklepalooza.
It is.
All right.
Neither of us are in it.
We lost, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
What a finish for David.
Just stating facts over here.
We needed some more training. You were busy. It's fine.
1-1.
Finish for Julian Arnold, inside out on Connor Garnett.
Double glance at Etta Wright. One early and then one a little bit after the play.
2-1.
Mr. Julian likes to make eye contact.
I wish we had a close-up of Vivian David's face on that reaction as Julian Arnold comes storming across.
2-2.
So good picture-in-picture from Boxcar. That's just amazing reaction from Vivian David.
Oh, good dodge from Vivian David.
It's going to be a pattern to monitor. It's going to be really tough for Etta Wright to create offense straight ahead with Julian Arnold. Can she catch Vivian David cross court on a few opportunities?
Julian Arnold's going to be attacking, whether it's at the middle or the body of Connor Garnett. I'm curious, though, too, with Connor, if he slices that ball back to the middle, is that better than maybe him using that two-handed backhand with some topspin with that short middle dink? I'm curious what your thoughts are.
With the topspin, I would be completely fine with just bumping the ball or possibly getting that topspin as opposed to the slice.
That backspin turns into topspin off the Julian Arnold speed up. That's why you have to be so weary of it.
There's a little delay. We got the Andiamo from Julian Arnold.
Mid-court play from Vivian David, forcing Connor Garnett to hit up on that topspin roller. Couldn't clear the tape.
6-4.
Speed up from Connor Garnett, creating offense from a not obvious position.
5-6.
Loves to drive and crash, especially in mix. So if they want to turn this a little bit more in their direction, I think that might be one of the ways in which they can do it.
Out from Connor Garnett, the initial counter attack from Vivian David, very good, but Connor stuck with it and continued to create offense.
6-7.
Forcing Julian to go for too much on the sideline wide.
7-7.
Nice shot from Julian Arnold, left foot of Connor Garnett, taking that second hand off of his backhand to create some extra reach and spin.
8-7.
Bit of an overstep.
Yes, Vivian David right now, she is having to handle a lot because Julian Arnold, not the biggest guy out here, but he is taking some court right now.
She's got about 25% over there.
Nice return.
Yeah, and it's a double-edged sword too. Well, actually, that doesn't make sense at all. So when I'm sorry, I'm going to continue this thought after this point, ladies.
With cliffhanger.
was just going to say, when Julian overextends, of course, that's going to create some errors and some bad situations, but it's also tough mentally for Vivian to know exactly what her role is. So you can't, it's such a fine line, but you got to find a way.
Tried to get out of the way, but Garnett, it's going to be a tough job because he speeds up the line, and you've got Julian sitting in the middle. It's actually going to be a two-shot combo. He has to send that back towards the left side. The first one is going to come right back at him, but he's got to be able to change that direction as there is space to the left. You got to go away from the Julian Arnold forehand.
Yeah, you know, I was just going to say, Michelle, that's exactly right, and I think certainly Connor Garnett has the backhand advantage, but Julian has the forehand advantage, and Julian's forehand is in the middle. So that's the situation we're in, and that's a really big deal.
Arizona happy to have the 2-point lead. The team that reached 11 points first will have a quick timeout and an end change. Both sides, it seemed like Bay Area was carrying momentum for the majority of that first half, and then Arizona came back. Take another look at the owner's suite. Brooks Wiley looking on. Ryan DeVos in the background there, owner of the Orlando Squeeze and owner of one of the semifinal buys tomorrow morning. Orlando will be in action in the 10 a.m. slot. And Worcester, one of the great staff members, Brian Levine, here with Major League Pickleball. So many incredible people behind the scenes.
I tell you what, guys, some heavy hitters underneath that tent.
Also, congratulations.
To say the least.
Titans of life, I tell you what, these guys are serious.
Also, congratulations to Ann picking up the Unsung Hero Award brought by ProXR Pickleball.
Also recently inducted into the Hall of Fame on the women's tennis side of things.
Come on, 1 point.
People behind the scenes here. ProXR Productions being one of them as well. We appreciate all the hard work that goes into putting these events together.
No!
Right for Garnett, Arizona. Back on top by 3.
Vivian David, one of the best right side females at back behind and keeping her male opponents honest.
No! Point.
That's tough. One of the challenging things that happens oftentimes is you drop your paddle head too far and create too much topspin. That needs to be hit from Connor Garnett.
Very good job of pulling the paddle back from Connor Garnett because he was locked.
10-13.
Oh, Connor Garnett with the counter cross court.
But that's what I'm talking about right now with Julian Arnold pinching so heavily middle. He's got to find combinations like this where you have him coming across and creating space on that left side. David, and again, court positioning can create pressure. You don't always have to be contact with some great contact.
Wow. Oh. What? And a right.
Okay. Have a counter.
Counter plus the angle, plus low net. Insanity. And then Connor Garnett moves off.
The two-handed backhand pace. He's flying in the air. He doesn't even have his base set with his legs. The rotation he gets from his torso and his core is just so good.
Here come the breakers.
Set out point 15.
No one hits a flying two-hander better than Connor Garnett.
Facts.
I'm telling you.
He's like the Air Jordan of pickleball.
Talk to him about it, Adam.
15-13.
He said it.
It took 3 shots to get it done, but it's all about the location as she continues to slide to find the back.
14-15. Timeout point 16.
Great shot selection. Beautiful.
16-14. Timeout point 15.
It's a lucky ball right there. Just a little bit of help from the net makes the adjustment come for Julian Arnold.
15-16. Timeout point 17.
Great for Julian exploding to that. Wasn't sure if Vivian was going to take that with the backhand, and Julian just the lunge and how quick he decides to be offensive caught Connor Garnett off guard.
Those are so tough, just the amount of reaction, because oftentimes you're starting to already make your move across for a dink like that. Tough to have to change your momentum.
18-15. Point.
Mistakes from Edda's last few points.
And it was the same one. It's the forehand off of the cross.
Timeout Bay Area Breakers. 19-15, 1 minute.
To the middle, just like you said in the past 4 or 5 points, and not the time for that in these closing moments of mixed doubles match number 2.
Yeah, timeout called by Bay Area. If Arizona wins this, we are going to a dream breaker, which, as Leah Jansen said, she likes her chances of in this matchup against Arizona. Morgan Evans hoping that is not the case.
I will say too, Morgan Evans, I've actually taken a lesson or two from Morgan, one of the great instructors, just really good about a lot of the technicality of the game, the nuances, a lot of tennis background for him, but one of the great educators in terms of really understanding not only the technique, but what your strengths are and utilizing them to the best of your advantage.
Adam, how receptive are these players to coaching?
Some more than others, certainly. But no, absolutely. And, you know, Morgan Evans is a legend of the game, and you have Scott Crandall as a high-end senior pro. So when you have a little clout or a little reputation coming into it, they are definitely more receptive to hearing what you have to say. So, but I will stick with my initial statement, some more than others.
And I'm assuming as a coach you can read that right away and just
you have to
know where to step every moment. It's only going to continue as the sport continues to grow, as the investments continue to heighten. Julian Arnold back to serve, 2 points away from evening out the series. Goal from Connor Garnett at the feet of Julian Arnold.
Yeah, some players want you to whisper sweet nothings in their ear, and some players want you to get in their face. So there you go. It's different for everyone.
I'm the second one.
Oh no, gosh, no. My nightmare.
Unbelievable coverage and lateral quickness from Julian Arnold. Nice spin from Connor Garnett. Always talk about that. These high-level pros, a lot of them handle the heavy pace better than they handle the heavy spin.
17-20.
Really tough. Edda's had to deal with a couple of those off the paddle of Vivian David.
Game point number 2 for Arizona.
2017.
Man down. Drop and roll.
Man
Connor
down.
Garnett hits the deck in a matter of moments.
But his face, his reaction after it went out was just so good.
Just collapse, play dead.
Drop it like it's hot.
Finger up, finger up.
Vivian David gets it right back. Game point number 3.
Just use a little full flamingo. Full flamingo. She really reaches in, uses that left leg as a counterbalance, and just unleashes on those forehands. I love it.
Tired of the collapse of Connor Garnett. Flamingo would be dead.
That's right. Right. There you go, Etta Wright. A couple soft airs, but a really nice offensive forehand there on the left hip of Julian Arnold. Let's see if she can get it going in these latter stages.
19-20. Bay Area could tie it. Drop from Connor Garnett gets us locked up at 20 apiece.
He just went away from his bread and butter, his two-hand backhand drive for that. That is risky, and it pays off for Connor Garnett.
20-20.
David wants it back. She gets it.
She's just bringing all the heat right here. Look at this. Handles the first drive, the second, and then the finisher.
21-20.
Point number 5.
Pick your poison. Both points were incredible. Vivian weathering the storm, and then just an amazing point on the very next one. And Connor Garnett, we talked about the flying backhand. How about the flying forehand as well?
Wow.
Connor Garnett also just had to check the ball because he's pretty sure he broke it.
Dividends late in this match. She is really unleashing on it.
22-21.
No!
And he keeps sending it to his forehand, notably, instead of that backhand side.
What was a better choice there? Did you like the drive?
22-22.
I'm fine with the drive. It just didn't work out that time.
No deep return. That's a tough one. Game point number 6 for Arizona. Momentum swing back and forth. Go to a dream breaker here. Oh, Connor Garnett will go away.
It's clear Connor Garnett's hand speed has increased as well as his preparation. So impressive on that forehand side.
And this man was a 4th round draft pick for Bay Area.
23-23.
Oh, Julian Arnold putting on a clinic. They can't get it away from him.
About 3 inches out, was pretty casual walking back there, but you said it, 7 incredible forehands in a row from Julian Arnold. He didn't hold back on any of them.
7th try for Arizona to push this to a dream breaker. Oh my, living on the edge. failed, as did Vivian David. A couple of times there, it could have went in favor of Bay Area. The entire match on the line, in Arizona somehow, some way, dug deep, pulled it out. So we're going to a dream breaker. How will they stack against Bay Area in singles? We'll find out in just a moment. But first, let's check in with Julian Arnold and Vivian David. What's their pulse down there, Dominic Catalano?
Wow, Viv, you're up 2017. They come all the way back. You fight off a game and match point. What are you thinking at that moment?
You just got to make one extra ball. Just one extra ball. You never know what could happen after that. I mean, we're fighters. We grind till the end. Julian kept me in my zone, so thanks. What a stud he is. And I mean, MLP format, gotta love it. It could go either way. So let's have some fun out there.
And Julian, you love this atmosphere. You love being on championship court. Tell me what it means to you now to go to this dream breaker.
We're ready for some singles, you know. They're feeling confident. I think we're going to double that confidence right now. So let's go, Drive. Drives are great in singles, so I think we got the edge.
Well, Arizona Drive tied up at 2 games apiece, headed to the dream breaker. Back to you, Michelle.
Dom, thanks so much. So, batting order will be determined momentarily. Arizona won the toss. As a reminder, they chose to react in mixed doubles, which means Bay Area gets to react in singles. According to Julian Arnold, Adam, he says they have the edge in singles. Who do you think has the edge?
Unfortunately, Julian Arnold is incorrect. On paper, the Bay Area Breakers are absolutely the favorite in this Dream Breaker format. So I like the confidence from Julian, but I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with him on this one.
All right, time now for our knockaround KO of the game. You picked Bay Area. Well, Connor Garnett will be a big part of that. And he was a big part of this point as we revisit one of the best points of the match.
You gotta love this right here. Just an absolute wailing of the ball from Julian Arnold, but this is just a lights out offensive and defensive barrage from both teams.
And then, excuse me, miss, out of my way, I'm taking the overhead from you. I think Etta Wright would have put it away too, but hey, why not? He earned it. Connor Garnett, also a tremendously prolific singles player. It's really how he got his name in the sport. Came up through singles, then developed his doubles game, has over 5 PPA singles medals and 10 across all events.
You know, and it's fun to watch Connor Garnett come up to the premier level because he also is somebody that continued to evolve his game. I think that's one of the biggest elements right now in the past year or so. You're starting to see maybe some of those athletes that have been at the top of the order who have maybe slipped down because they haven't been able to evolve. But Connor Garnett, he actually had to go through a little bit of a slump at one point in his career where he was all of a sudden on the scene, everyone knew him, and then they started to figure out his game. And to his credit, he continued to battle. He devoted himself to this game, and he really created some consistency. That one-hand backhand is something that's definitely noticeable on that left side. So to his credit, he spent the time and created multiple weapons.
He spent a lot of time with Tyson McGuffin training as well, who will be in our final quarterfinal match of the evening, but they'll have to wait. The second quarterfinal was slotted to start at 6 p.m., but we're going to be here overtime, ladies and gents. So here's the order, the batting order determined by Bay Area. They put out, of course, Connor Garnett first, then followed by Rafa Hewitt, Etta Wright, and Leah Jansen is fourth for Bay Area, despite her singles prowess. Etta got the slot up, and maybe it's because of who Arizona put out first. They put out Julian Arnold, Deco Bar against Hewitt, and then Vivian Glossman against Wright. And Vivian David will match up against Leah Jansen. What do you think about the switch from Etta to go before Leah?
Well, Leah Jansen's not a singles player. She's retired, right? I'm sure in those 2 months she's been retired, she's just terrible. Yeah, right. So it could be something specific in terms of matchup, but Leah Jansen definitely in the 3 slot for me.
I'm also curious, how many times through do you usually get to the 4th rounder?
Oh, that's why batting order is so important.
Yeah.
Exactly right. You have to have something specific to not put your top players early in the count because they might not come around.
0-0. Arnold will lead us off with a serve to Connor Garnett for 4 points.
Huge serve. Huge serve.
I think one of the hard elements to changing from doubles to singles is a big piece is your return. Oftentimes you return with a slice in doubles. Singles, you go with the topspin.
Earth-shattering analysis here. His forehand is good.
2-0.
Gift return and a gift serve. Friendly fellas.
1-2.
Great shot. That is that two-hand backhand. I'm a little surprised Julian Arnold went that direction. Most teams or most players go away from the two-handed backhand of Connor Garnett.
2-2 split for the first rotation. Deckelbar, Rafa Hewitt out to play.
Yeah.
Shot for Rafa Hewitt.
I said that inside-out forehand is world class. We saw it in doubles. We see it .1 of this Dream Breaker.
Rafa Hewitt, he's made for these Dream Breakers. He loves them. He's played a lot of his Major League Pickleball days. Deckelbar, too good.
Really nice job creating some challenges in the forward motion of Rafa Hewitt as he was well backed up behind the baseline.
It's 2.
Double yeah. With aggression over across the net. I love it.
4-3.
Rafa Hewitt extends and gets it. We're split 2 points apiece once again.
It's almost as if they're in a yell-off right now. I'm not sure by the end of this who's going to take home the victory in that regard.
Etta Wright steps out against Vivian Glosman, and here's where some separation could occur. Glosman, of course, a strong tennis background. So is Etta Wright.
4-4.
Too good from Etta Wright.
Etta could be really sneaky right here in terms of a singles player. We don't often get to see her play singles, so it's a little nuanced in terms of a scouting report against her.
5-4.
That's a great match.
Glosman gets 1.
5. 5-5.
Nice return from Etta Wright. 2 points for Glosman.
6-5.
And the gift will end in a split. We have no separation. Each players have split 2 points each. Now Leah Jansen. This is her time to shine against Vivian David.
6-6.
Big return from Vivian David.
Really solid angle right there from Vivian David.
7-6.
Another misreturn. On the side of the Bay Area, Vivian David comes away with 2. Maybe not where we would have expected the separation to come from.
8-6.
Yeah, it's I'll have to say the early stages of this Toyota Prius Dream Breaker are not as clean as they could have been, but that's okay. They're going to build.
7-8.
Clean energy, though.
A rip from Vivian David gives her team the lead, a 3-1 point differential for their first rotation between David and Jansen. Out comes Connor Garnett and Julian Arnold. They split 2 points apiece.
9-7.
First rotation. Oh my goodness, just barely missed. How does he get to some of these balls.
Yeah, just, I mean, 3 or 4 just completely outstretched. And it's not just a get it back, it's a quality shot as well.
That's out.
Chirpy chirp for his first point in the second go around against Garnett.
A little shout out to Matt Wright. Well, that's out.
10-8.
And the singles game still doesn't differ. Big serve, big return, and that is a good one from Connor Garnett. Not much coming up off the ground.
This would be huge for Garnett to come away with 3. Oh, can't do it. Still split points, 2-2. Dekelbar, Rafa Hewitt back out for the second round. Arizona, the first team to 11 points, will change ends.
Well, first half of it, Michelle. The Julian Arnold prediction looking solid. 11-9. See if the Breakers can step it up. They're going to need to, and who better to do it than Mr. Rafa Hewitt.
He wants the team on his back. He loves being in these moments.
15 seconds.
He has a 2-point deficit to climb out of.
Time in. 11-9.
Oh, Dekelbar's too big of a body to pass. Comes away with the first point.
Yeah, and you're spot on. I think there were about 4 or 5 passing shots that maybe against a lesser or smaller opponent would have been good for Rafa Hewitt.
A not size 16 shoe. Size opponent.
Yeah, and on that, and the previous point as well, he never tried to do too much with those volleys, trusting his ability at the kitchen.
It's one heck of a serve Dekelbar has, finishes it perfectly.
Yeah, and it makes him a dangerous singles player. He's ahead in the point just from that serve alone.
Hey, since he's my good buddy, last time I played him in singles, I won. There we go.
There you go. So the Dream Breaker is saying you'd win too.
Correct.
Got it. 3 points for Barr, 1 point for Rafa Hewitt. The deficit builds for Bay Area. They're going to lean on their women to make up some ground. Etta Wright comes back out against Vivian Glasman. They split in the first rotation. Just barely misses. Say a prayer, Etta Wright. She was beat.
Great job, Etta. 11-14.
I like it. Glasman's really trusting her baseline play. We haven't seen her come to the net and really utilize her length in that regard, but she has a great dipping drive from the baseline.
15-11.
What a clean couple of drives from Vivian Glasman. That tennis shining through.
Yeah, she chose the right time and the right ball to come in there.
16-11.
Glasman up 2-1 on Etta Wright. Make it 3-1. And Arizona carves out their biggest lead of the match, up 6 points on Bay Area.
Yeah, they're going to have the recently retired singles player step up big right now, running out of time.
17-11.
What a shot, Leah Jansen. She gets 1.
And we just talked about Glasman staying at the baseline. Her preference is to be there as a tennis player. Leah Jansen, she returns and comes to the net religiously.
12-17.
Clean winner, Vivian David. 18-12, Arizona 3 away.
18-12.
Good fight from Leah Jansen. One more point between these two.
13-18.
Another clean rip down the line. Vivian David, nerves of steel.
Two beautiful passing shots for Vivian David throughout that rotation.
Julian Arnold comes back out. He could finish it off on his paddle, 2 points away from advancing to the semis.
Connor was not there. Julian had a good look. Granted, very difficult shot, but a good look at that topspin roller to get to 20.
14-19.
Yeah, the side spin of Julian Arnold carving the outside of the ball, just keeping it out of the strike zone of Connor Garnett.
Match point, Arizona drive. Julian Arnold will look to close it. And he will. Cross-court passing shot. Julian Arnold and the Arizona drive. They are through to the semifinals against Orlando. What a match.
He's a prophet. He called it. He said that drives are good in singles. They're going to take it. They were underdogs on paper, and a commanding 7-point decisive victory in this dream breaker from the Arizona drives. Good for them. They deserve it.
Yeah, really impressed, especially when it comes down to a dream breaker, how they were able to perform. I think Vivian David is someone that you can't forget. She had a tough task in front of her against Leah Jansen. She came up with some big-time points. And also, Vivian Glossman, understanding her strengths, staying at the baseline, coming away with points against a very tough opponent in Etta Wright.
So true. Vivian Glossman caused some separation in her second rotation, getting that 3-1 break on Etta Wright. My goodness, Larry Fitzgerald's team is on his way through to the semifinals. Dominic Catalano is with the winners.
All right, Julian, I'll start with you. You said the drive are geared for this. You're ready for this. 21-14, tell me what happened.
I'm here and I'm ready to play. That's what happened. So let's go drive. We're taking it all the way.
D, coming into singles, you don't play a lot of singles tournament-wise, but we know you're a very good singles player. How's this feel out here?
It's good. It's good. You don't forget how to play singles, especially the ground stroke. So feeling great. Great team win. Everybody played so good. So happy to be through.
Vivian, being part of this team, first time here on the premier level, excuse me. How's it feel for you?
Just so happy to be here. Thanks to my team. They carried me through it all. They're amazing.
And then Vivian, last but not least, you guys going up against Orlando tomorrow in the semifinals. What are your thoughts on that going forward?
We're just going to swing away. We're going to have some fun, bring the fire, and let's go team.
We're going to squeeze them. That's what's going to happen.
You heard it here again. Julian Arnold calling the shots here on championship court. We'll take a quick break. Second semifinal coming up here on championship court. MLP Atlanta by Margaritaville. Major League Pickleball by Margaritaville. Brought to you by HSS, the official hospital of Major League Pickleball. Skechers, experience comfort on the court with Skechers Pickleball. ProXR Pickleball, innovation you can handle. And DUPR, dynamic universal pickleball rating. Innovate the game, unify the sport.